Some people take health challenges as an opportunity to feel sorry for themselves, but others decide to advocate for people who might possibly walk the same path.
Since my surgery, I wanted to give back for that gift that was given to me. So, as I was looking into ways and seeking organizations that I could volunteer in, I found that a lot of people were going through some of the same challenges that I went through.
That's National Kidney Advocate Curtis Warfield. I'm Monica Fox, Vice President of Government Relations and External Affairs for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois, and your host for this edition of The Journey Continues. This time, I'm excited to talk to Curtis about his journey and the work that he does as a kidney advocate. Curtis, please start by sharing your personal experience with chronic kidney disease.
Hi, Monica. Yes, and thank you for having me. My journey really started, as I like to say, around the turn of the century when I was turning around 40 and wanted to keep better care with my health. And I actually knew that prostate cancer ran very high on both sides of my family. So while I was being checked on a yearly basis for that, they found some type of situation going on with my kidney function. And I was sent to a nephrologist who did some additional tests, and they came back and wanted to do a biopsy. And the biopsy showed that there was some damage going on with my kidney filters, but I was given high dosages of prednisone, which is a steroid, and my numbers went back down. And after that, I was basically told that things would be okay, but keep an eye out on these things for later in life. But I was never really told what to actually look out for. So about 5 years later, again, going through a regular checkup, they noticed that there was protein leaking in my urine. I was sent to another nephrologist who did some additional tests, and he came back, and this was in around 2012, and came back and said, Mr. Warfield, you're at stage 3 of kidney disease. It was a complete shock to me because, one, I was wondering what happened to stages 1 and 2. And another was this was never really designated, nor was I ever told about anything dealing with kidney disease. It was something that did not really run in my family. So it was, as I said, quite a shock. And anytime you have the word disease mentioned with your name, you're going to kind of panic for a minute. But my nephrologist at the time calmed me down a little bit, told me what was going on with my kidneys. He was kind of showing me through a model about the different filters on the inside and what the damage could be. But he wasn't quite sure what caused the damage. So I was labeled as having FSGS for the diagnosis of my kidney disease. So he decided to give me different types of medication. And at one time, I was taking about 17 different types of medication daily to try and slow down this disease. But it was very aggressive and it really wasn't helping me at all. As a matter of fact, the only thing it really did was make me a type 2 diabetic. So he discontinued that treatment and basically said, we'll just wait and see what happens with your kidneys, but it does look like they'll probably fail, and we'll get you ready for hemodialysis at a clinic. So by December of 2014, my kidneys did fail. And as they were trying to put a fistula in, the fistula operation itself did not work. As a matter of fact, the veins closed off about a week after my surgery. And they tried it again. And this time they actually failed during recovery. So I was panicking a little bit as to what we were going to do next. And that's when they told me about peritoneal dialysis, which actually worked better for me because it was going to allow me to continue work. I wasn't going to have to deal with needles or anything like that. And for me, it was going to be a better option. So after going through the test to see if that would work, I started peritoneal dialysis in December of 2014. After going through a couple of months of successful treatments on dialysis, I was then told about being tested to see if I could get on the transplant list. And in February of 2015, I did all the tests and was able to make the transplant list, but was told that it would take about 4 years on the waiting list before a deceased donor would come up. That didn't sit well, as I told my family. It didn't sit well with my daughter, who was like, okay, there's got to be another way. And she started doing research on being a living kidney donor. So she was getting more information than I was and went to get tested. But unfortunately, it was determined that she was not going to be a good match for me. So after those tests, she had just graduated from college. She was living with one of her college sorority sisters. And her friend and sorority sister had been keeping tabs on all the tests and everything and said, let me go get tested because I really do like your family and I just want to help. So she went to get tested and actually turned out to be a perfect match for me. So I'm getting this call in December of 2015 saying your friend is a match and we're ready to set up the surgery to do a transplant. And I'm trying to figure out who this person is because I had no knowledge that anybody else was actually looking to be a living donor for me. So after it was told to me who it was a relief, but also kind of stressful because this young lady that we knew because while they were in school, she would come by the house and we would feed her during holidays when she couldn't go home and stuff. So we wanted to make sure that she was making the right decision. And when her mother came for the surgery, we had asked, was everything okay? Because we didn't want any anxiety between the two families or anything. And they were perfectly okay. She had counseled with her pastor, she had counseled with her family and everything. And they were just saying that she was ready to do this. So we felt a big relief. And on January 8th of 2016, the surgery took place. The kidney started working immediately. My donor was in her last semester of graduate school and was still able to get her master's degree on time. She works in public health, just recently applied and was accepted into medical school to do podiatry out east in New York. So she's been doing really great. And that helped me with my advocacy work and starting that ever since.
Wow, what a journey and what an angel to step forward and help you. That's just awesome. I'm sure your daughter was really grateful to her friend as well for stepping up and helping her dad.
Oh, yes.
So, how's your journey shaped your life?
It has really made a big difference in my life. If you had told me 20 years ago this is something I would have done, I probably would have laughed in somebody's face. But since my surgery, I wanted to give back for that gift that was given to me. So, as I was looking into ways and seeking organizations that I could volunteer in, I found that a lot of people were going through some of the same challenges that I went through being diagnosed and seeking different forms of treatment and everything. But they had very little knowledge or very little education of dealing with kidney disease. So it was helpful for me as well as for them to pass on information that I could pass on and kind of be a support to people who did not have that support. And it has grown since that time. I like the personal one-on-one or the one-on group contact that helps people. I've also had the privilege to go on Capitol Hills and speak with our legislators and their staff to help educate them about kidney disease. It's been interesting to find out that kidney disease, while it is a silent disease, a silent killer, as they like to say, but a lot of people don't know about kidney disease. So the helping of education, the helping of developing policy and getting that out there has really been more or less a joy for me to do and has been very helpful for other people. So I like doing this type of work.
So, how'd you feel when you received your transplant?
I was overjoyed to receive the transplant, but also at the same time scared because of it. For me, being a living donor and my donor was so young, how am I going to keep this kidney as long as I can and protect it so that I didn't feel guilty if the kidney failed and make myself feel as though I have done harm to my donor by not really trying to keep myself healthy. So I've been pretty good on on my healthcare side, trying to keep things healthy and but also, as I said before, wanted to get out this information to people to help others move forward in trying to do and find better treatment for kidney disease and hopefully and eventually find a cure for it.
Well, you mentioned being an advocate, and I know that you are a passionate advocate for kidney health. What motivated you to get involved in organizations like the Kidney Health Initiative and the National Kidney Foundation?
The motivation, one, as I had said, was to give forward to the gift that was given to me. You know, you can't pay your donor or a donor family for receiving that gift. And as I got more into it, being able to give that information and help educate people and dispel a lot of the myths about kidney disease and about being sick and that life is over for you. It's time to have that renewal of life and that you can still do things and still be active, even though you're living with just one kidney and you've been through a major surgery. So it's really more so for me helping other people.
That's a great thing because certainly education around kidney disease, as you stated before, is really important. So many people are unaware, and we know that 37 million people in this country are living with kidney disease, and 90% don't know it. So it's great the work that you're doing. What are some of the key messages that you strive to share with the community regarding kidney disease and organ donation?
Some ideas and activities that I like to share. One, life is not over when you're diagnosed with kidney disease. You still have an active life. As my dialysis nurse told me, it's just living a new normal life. So it's learning how to adjust with certain things that can include your diet, that can include your physical activities, that includes your lifestyle in general. That's one thing. The other is learning more about yourself physically and learning how to ask questions of your doctor about what's going on with you and telling them how you feel, learning how to read your lab results and not just relying on a physician to tell you what's going on and to be really more proactive in your life.
Those are good messages, great messages. So you mentioned going to Capitol Hill. So you've spoken with legislators about kidney disease and organ donation. Can you discuss some, if any, changes or initiatives that have happened or that are on the horizon?
One on the horizon that I'm excited about is the Living Donor Protection Act that really helps protect living donors from being discriminated against by insurance companies because they've donated a kidney and being labeled now as having a disease or a condition, I should say, themselves because they have given the gift of life to somebody else. Other things around that is getting the time off to recover. I know people who have donated a kidney, and a friend of mine, she had to be back at work within a week after donating. And that was really hard for her to return to work at that short a period of time. So that's one particular one. Another one on the rise is helping people to protect themselves with the Medigap insurance, and also for both sides, for the donor as well as the recipient. There are a lot of costs involved with transplant. So some insurances may not cover everything, but having that Medigap in between to help cover some of the additional costs is very important. We were able to pass Medigap legislation here in Indiana that helps cover that. Again, there's cost for transportation while you're doing dialysis. A lot of people may not have transportation themselves, and so they need to help cover the cost of a Uber or a taxi or a van. So again, Indiana is working on helping people cover those types of costs. So as we talk through things and again, educating our legislators more about what goes on with the patient themselves. And they're starting to listen.
It's very important. And it's great that you work on the state level and the federal level with your advocacy because it's all so important. You are also a peer mentor. And so, in that role, how do you provide support to individuals who are facing the challenges of kidney disease?
The easiest part, as well as the hardest part, is kind of like a chain. Your strongest link can be your weakest link, is learning how to listen to the person you're mentoring to, having them tell their story and being able to listen to the things that they're going through and not just, how do I say it, bringing in your story and this is what Curtis did to do this. And, this is the Curtis way of doing things. You can't do things the Curtis way. You have to listen to the person who is going through it. So they may go through different pains or different trials. So you try to guide them and not tell them things that they're going through, who to talk to. You're not giving medical advice. You do speak to your doctor, speak to a nurse, speak to a pharmacist if necessary. For me, it's the big thing of listening, getting their information, and then trying to help them and guide them through their journey.
You're involved with the Kidney Precision Medicine Project. Can you tell us about that and how you represent patient voices within that project?
I'm a patient partner, and the study itself is they are studying the kidney and doing it in a way where they're able to take cells from the kidney, look at them, see the type of damage that's going on, and seeing if they can regenerate some of those cells to hopefully either regenerate the cells themselves or at least be able to put them in a area whereas kidney disease is slowed down, if not stopped, at that particular point that they're in. By doing so, they're able to still keep a person at a higher level with their kidney disease and hopefully maybe even regenerate the kidney into almost a full healthy kidney. So it's been very interesting and of what's going on. And I know right now they're working with just diabetic patients. So things are looking very positive in their findings. And we're still looking for more people who would like to take part of the trial itself. So things are looking good in that area. And being able to talk with researchers and being able to give the patient voice and let them know that we're still human. We're not just subjects. You're not just taking pieces of us, and to listen to what we're going through as they go through this research.
That's great. So they have patients who participate in the project, and then they also have patient partners who participate by lending their voice. So that sounds like a great project. So you've received several awards for your advocacy work. You're highly decorated, as I would say. What do these recognitions mean to you, and how do they impact your continued efforts?
As I always say, it's really not about the award. It's about the accomplishment of what is taking place where you're getting the recognition. So for me, it's nice to have that award, but I like it when I get an email or a phone call from another patient saying, thank you for helping me talk to my doctor, or thank you for the information that you gave me. That's really my award. It's nice to be recognized. I'm not going to say I would give my awards back, but I didn't get into this to try and earn awards or anything like that. It's more so for trying to help others as we all go through this journey.
So, looking ahead, what are your goals for the future in terms of kidney health advocacy and community education?
I'm on a few patient advisory boards. So getting that voice of the patient out a lot more and a lot more directly to the pharma companies, to kidney organizations, and letting them know that the patient needs to be as involved in a lot of the research that's going on as much as the medical side or the research side. We want to be a more of a voice in stating what is the state of the patient and just letting them know, like I say, when I close out a lot of my engagements, that we are, still a person. We're still human. When I was born, they did not tell Daniel and Esther Warfield that you are the proud parents of subject B. They were like, you're the proud parents of a baby boy. So that's the big thing. And then educating and making sure that the education is there for the patient once they have received their diagnosis, not to go through and Google everything. As they say, go to Dr. Google. No, they should be in the office and they should be able to pick out educational materials right there that are meaningful and useful for that person when they're diagnosed. So the more we can get out directly to the people, the better.
What advice do you have for our audience that maybe has family members that are dealing with kidney disease or maybe are going through it themselves?
My advice, number one, is to don't panic. Seek counsel in any type of way. National Kidney Foundation has a very good peer mentoring program There are other organizations out there that are able to help you go through this. Again, it's not the end of life. It's just a chance to have a second way of advancing your life. So don't panic, seek education, seek counseling. For caregivers, you too also should seek counseling. It's a lot taking care of us kidney patients sometimes. So you also need a break. There's new information out there for caregivers to help them get through this journey. And it is a journey. It's not going to be something that turns around automatically and instantly within a week or two. So just kind of learn how to live with it. I was thinking about that. It will be 10 years in January that I've had my kidney. So it's been a blessing that way. And thinking over these past 10 years or so, the adjustments I have had to make to be able to be an advocate and meet great people like you, Monica, and travel all over this country speaking about kidney disease and what we can do to make things better and to educate not only our patients, but educate our doctors, educate our researchers, to help them understand that it's more than just the science that they're doing. It is a human touch that you're actually fulfilling and helping people live longer, live better, and live a wiser life. So keep going, don't give up, and continue to live and strive.
Well, thank you for those wise words, Curtis, and thank you for spending this time with me, sharing your journey and all the wonderful work that you are doing to advocate for kidney patients all around the country.
I thank you, and thank you all for having me, and be blessed and have a good day.
Curtis is an amazing advocate who works tirelessly on behalf of kidney patients. His journey is inspirational. For more information about kidney transplants, living donors, and opportunities to advocate, visit nkfi.org. I'm Monica Fox, a kidney warrior, and this is The Journey Continues. Prevention is a key part of our mission at the Kidney Foundation. That's why at the end of each episode, we share a health tip.
Here's today's prevention tip on hydration. Drinking plenty of water helps your kidneys clear sodium, urea, and toxins from the body, which help you significantly lower your risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Remember to always read the labels. Some flavored waters include sugar or sugar substitutes. Try to choose water with no additives. Limit your consumption of sweetened beverages like energy drinks, sodas, and sports drinks. One every once in a while is okay, but when consumed regularly, sweetened beverages can limit your hydration and even lead to health issues like diabetes. Having trouble consuming water? Download an app that reminds you when to drink. Carry a cute water bottle or cup, or set an alarm to drink water throughout the day.